This video is sponsored by Liquid Rubber. There's going to be more on that later. It's a product that I highly recommend. I've used it on many projects in the past. It's an awesome waterproofing system in order to pretty much make any kind of roof waterproof. Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Kevin Builds. Today, we're going to be doing some pretty exciting stuff. We're putting the lid on this bad boy. We are going to be doing the roof and the ceiling at the same time. Now you're thinking, how the heck are you going to do that? You have to stay tuned to see how we do that. First, we got to install a giant beam in the thing to support the rafters. But yeah, so there's going to be lots of ups and downs on this video. But first, well, we got to get it unwrapped so we can get inside and just have a look at what we're going to do. Well, it looks like my waterproofing worked well, other than it collected all the water. That just looks like a giant water bed. Look at that. It's all collected there. We gotta get this thing off so we can get the ceiling on. Frankie, you gonna help? Can you help, Frankie? Yeah, it looks like it didn't collect it anywhere else. You got some here. That's, yeah, see? Just like that. Perfect. Not on the cabin. And then these things had a time to dry out too. I've got I got an ingenious solution, I think, to get all these things cleaned off. Because I like the bark look, but I like the half bark look. So the dark and the light. So I don't really want to take all of it off, but I want to take some of it off. So yeah, most of it is off. Kind of like addicting to just kind of peel that stuff off. Anyways, I gotta get this thing uncovered first. One live edge beam coming right up. Alright, a little bit of ingenuity and we've got this thing in the building. Now all we have to do is cut the rafter tails, make a beam pocket, and get that thing up there, which is, I don't know, it's probably like a 300-pound beam. I just gotta let it make it hover up there to support the ends of the rafters. That will be fun times. Anyways, got half of it done. So the plan is to try to get myself like a little beam pocket here to get rid of these rafter tails, and then kind of like, yeah, get that beam up in there. First I gotta take these off. I don't know how that's gonna work out. Got the old pry bar. Should just come out, right? All right, we got a little bit of redneck engineering going on here. This is my my pulley. It's actually off a snatch block that I got from Princess Auto, and the plan is to fix this to the rafter up above, and then have my winch line go over top of here. And ideally, I'll just screw these things in. So the winch line will come over here, go down there, and lift the beam. This is the beam, lifts up, and then I attach it in place. Should work, right? And I'm fastening it with these guys. These aren't your everyday screw. These are like extra thick black Robbie screws, so it's not going to pull out or thing, but I'll be on the other side of the cabin anyways if it does fail, so let's give this a whirl. Beams all in now. I cut the tails off so we get a nice flush thing right at the bottom. If that thing is to come down, I'll eat my hat because it's really solid in there, and it's sitting on the beam right below it, so we're good that way. We've got lots of clearance, and we still have like more than 8 feet above, which is really excellent. I see a like sort of a tray ceiling. I think that's going to glow once everything is said and done. I don't know. It's kind of ever evolving. I like the fact that the bark is still on that. That's it actually lends itself really nicely to the style I'm going for. All right, like I was saying before in the intro, was that I'm going to do the ceiling and the roof at the same time, or the roof and the ceiling at the same time. And one thing I did note is that last time I did sort of, you know, kind of a live edge beam sort of system, people were giving me flack that I didn't clean my logs of bark before I put it together. Well, I still didn't clean my logs of bark before, but I am going to do it before the ceiling goes up, because I'm going to have a finished ceiling next to what's going to be a rough log. And so I've rigged up a little system here. This is a Makita whippersnipper, battery operated, and I've put a it's really close to my face, it kind of scares me. There's no battery on it right now, I don't think. It's a little wire wheel, and that's going to allow me to polish the live edge of the log, because I'm going to actually remove all the bark, and then all of the I don't know, the debris that's left over, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that to polish it off, and ideally I won't have to do that much manual labor. I'll just be able to just, and it'll just clean it, it'll look beautiful. Hopefully that works out well. I think I just ate a mosquito. And any bark that's left over, I'm just going to use a little hatchet and just kind of cut it off, and Bob your uncle, and yeah, I'll be well on my way to actually finishing my ceiling and my roof at the same time. 2 jobs, man. I want to talk to you a little bit about our sponsor today, which is liquid rubber. It is a product that I highly recommend. I use it in a lot of my projects, and it is pretty much the most versatile waterproofing compound that I have personally found. What's great about it is that it is UV stable. It is water-based product, so it's easy cleanup, soap and water cleanup. It comes in like 8 different colors, I believe, so you can match your existing structure. In this case, what I'm using it for is actually a low-sloped roof, which is a metal roof, so it works well on metal roofs. And what's great about it is that you can upcycle old product. So this is an old steel roof that I'm using it on, and I don't want to send it to the landfill. So what I'm doing is actually liquid rubbering it to ensure it's waterproof for years to come. All right, so I spent the last couple of days milling up some ash trees, and I've basically made paneling, which is about a 1/2 inch thick, rough sawn. I've jointed both edges of these boards, so this is going to actually be my ceiling, but I'm going to install it from above as opposed from below, and I think that'll help me get it done quicker, because otherwise I have to fit between every single one of those rafters. But they're just kind of random pattern. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. We're gonna just throw it up there and see. I was gonna cut little pieces, but maybe I'll use them long ways. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Some people say planning and preparation are where dreams go to die. I don't disagree with them. I think there's a lot to be said for that. I think there's a lot to be said for just, do it and see what happens. And if you're gonna fail quickly and move on, because yeah, I don't exactly know how this is going to work out, but I've got a little bit of I know doing it the other way is a lot of work. I'm kind of thinking this way is a lot of work too. There's really no way to get around how much work it is. But I think future Kevin will thank me for this, I hope, because yeah, it's a lot of work. It doesn't matter how I slice it. All right, I've got pretty much all the beams all cleaned up. I've got my whippersnipper still up here in case I see something that I missed, because you can only whippersnip for so long. Actually, what happens is the head on it overheats and it just shuts down, which is probably a good thing. But yeah, I got the majority of it done, and the big chunks of bark knocked off. So I should be good to go to start laying out my my ceiling. The idea is to use brad nail and tack them in. And my original plan was to cut them all kind of like in the middle, or even like just get onto a couple inches, and then I wouldn't waste a whole lot of material if I just went side to side. I haven't decided whether or not I have enough yet, or whether or not I want to do that. Just do pieces, because you don't waste any if you do pieces. And yeah, I don't know. All right, let's get, I'm gonna get a chalk line, just give myself a level line or a straight line in order for I'm gonna lay it out kind of like hardwood floor sort of thing. Yeah, let's get started. Stop talking, more starting. Ta-da! All done. In actual time, that took about 2 hours, I believe. And I had that left over. So, pretty good estimate on exactly how much I needed. You can see where the efficiency-wise, where I cut the spare stuff out. So it allows me to go further. And it also allows me to not have to make perfectly straight lines all the way across. It's kind of like a random pattern. And then over here, I'm going to cut those off, which is the where the roof's going to go. So yeah, we're in good shape. This is the underside, what it looks like. Obviously, you're not going to be able to see the light shining through once the roof deck is on. But as you can see, that's a pretty decent ceiling for a cabin in the woods. I'm going to clean up the main joists a little bit more. There's dirt on them, like right there. But otherwise, I think that's pretty cool looking. Maybe some uplighting, just to kind of give it a little bit of style. Maybe some valances. Lots of ideas. So that's pretty darn cool. If you guys are looking to waterproof your campers, your RVs, steel roof, anything really, planter boxes, I'm probably forgetting some things. This stuff pretty much waterproofs anything you can think of. You can waterproof plywood with it if you really want to. This stuff, liquid rubber, the color sealant is amazing. I highly recommend it. I've used it in a couple of projects already. This being the latest one, which is the steel roof, old cladding. So yeah, if you guys want to take a look at this stuff, it's really cool. I'd like to thank them for sponsoring this video. Also, the link will be down in the description below if you want to check yourself out some color sealant by Liquid Rubber. It's really, really good stuff. This is what it looks like. It's got the big moose on it. Anyways, it's great stuff. I really, really like it. And yeah. Oh, it's nearly my favorite time of day where, you know, you've got enough done to say, you know what, I put in a pretty good day. Everything else now is bonus. So I'm right on schedule. I've got my my schedule being my artificial schedule to be done before the rain comes. So I've got some garage door panels. These, I'm told by my garage door installer, are R18, which is it's quite a bit for a ceiling, especially in a cabin. Like if it was a residence and you were in this all the time and you didn't have a giant wood stove, it you know, I think they're asking for like R55 at this point. But R18 for this kind of span is going to do just fine. And I'm going to focus a lot more on air sealing than I am going to be doing R value. So I'm going to seal all my joints. And yeah, so like it's airtight, because as you guys may or may not know, that you know, you can heat a plastic bag up in the middle of winter. If it's pretty much airtight. Like the bricklayers, they would tarp over the, you know, the exterior of the home, and then they would be able to throw enough heat in that thing, and then they can keep it warm. But if you know, you got your windows open, then there's not really a chance that you're going to heat it. So that's why I'm going to focus a lot more on air sealing than I am going to do the R value. And basically, this stuff is free. This is discarded. You know, garage doors, scratch and dent and whatnot. So yeah, I've got a lot of them. I'm not gonna need a whole lot of them to do this, but yeah, they're very strong too. So like I can kind of use it like a deck. It's kind of like how they do flat roofs. So flat roofs, they would essentially put, you know, your roof decking down, and then, which we did, and then they would put you know, 2 layers of foam, and then they would hot tar it or rubber roof it or whatever like that. And that's how they would. That's how they do commercial construction. So that's kind of what we're going to do now. Is we're going to add a insulation layer on top of our roof. So yeah, hopefully, I can't foresee anything. The only really tricky part is going to be squaring this thing up, because I know the cabin for a fact isn't exactly square. So we're gonna kind of have to find like a happy medium. Maybe like run them wild right off the side, and then run a chalk line, and then do it that way. That might actually be a pretty good option. Yeah, this way you can kind of lay them out and then not really have to worry about them button up perfectly. Just get started, right? Get started and see what happens. Well, it wasn't a restful night as I expected it to be. A little rough this morning, but you know what? Another day, another dollar, as they say. Looks like a bomb went off up here. That's what happens when you go and you don't clean. I'm grateful for the fact it's not super sunny right now. I'm in the shade. Anytime I can work in the shade, I last a little bit longer. All right, so we're working back on the insulation panels. I got a special, I'm gonna do like a double waterproofing system. So basically I'm gonna waterproof these panels. These panels are naturally waterproof. The seam isn't so much. There is a gasket between them. And like I said, I was working on air sealing. So I've got some liquid rubber caulking and some liquid rubber seam tape. The seam tape is like a super sticky membrane. It's almost like sheathing tape. It is completely waterproof. So I'm gonna probably tape all of my seams in my panels and caulk basically every single hole that's on this roof, and that's going to act two things. One thing is going to be a secondary source for water stoppage, if that's a word, and it's going to do the air sealing for me perfect. So I don't want any vapor. I don't want any vapor coming up from the warm, moist area below to get to my really cold steel, which is going to condense and then cause water. And you've got the potential for water coming from above. You know, water never sleeps, and if you can keep it out, it's the ideal way to get that. But first we got to get this roof on. I got all my panels up here. These ones aren't the best panels. They're a little scratch and dented. I'm getting to the bottom of the pile, although I got to restock soon. More panels. Anyways, it's been going well. Do I have my drill? Yeah, like a squirrel up here. Whew. Anyways, all right. These are, what I'm using to fasten these things down is actually these things here, which is like a self-tapping roofing screw. This is designed to screw steel deck members down. I ended up getting a whole box for like, actually I got 4 boxes of them. One are like 4.5, and there's like 6-inch 6-inch ones, and they're all self-tappers. They're not like extremely like structural. They do snap off, but they were super cheap. Like I got like 4 boxes for like $15, which is crazy because I don't think somebody knew what they were. That's primarily where you get a lot of your deals, is where like somebody, it's like, you know, the widow selling all the tools for what he said he paid for them. That's the kind of that's the kind of sale you want to go to. So that's where those came from. Yeah. Anytime you can get fasteners, stock up on fasteners, it's always a good deal to get fasteners. Yeah, because you never know when you're going to need them. For instance, these guys. Ever seen these? These are the GRK structural screws. I actually found a handful of them at the scrapyard, and I asked the guy, I'm like, how much for these GRKs? And he puts them in his hand and he kind of like weighs them for a bit. And he's like, $25. I'm like, that's not scrap price. Yeah, he ended up just giving them to me. It's probably because I was like, I'm at a scrapyard. I'm paying scrap price. I'm not paying what GRKs are worth. Like this screw here is like, that screw's there is like $3 or something like that, $4 maybe. Anyways, yeah. Know the value of things, and when you see them at a good price, pick them up. All right, back to roofing. I got a couple more panels to do. Actually, I'm over half. I'm over halfway done, which is cool. right, now that we've got all of the roof pretty much cleaned off, I used a broom. Remember broom ball? I don't know if it still exists. Curling. I used a curling broom. And I've cleaned it all off, and now I'm going to use the seam tape, which is the liquid rubber product. This stuff is excellent. I've used it a couple of times on different projects. I don't want to forget material that it's good for, like EPTM. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but it's good for that. TPO plus all metal roof tiles and shingles. It's good application down to -70 Fahrenheit. I hope we never get to that temperature. That's pretty darn cold. So like it's an impregnated tape, I guess. I don't know exactly what it is. It's really sticky. It's got like a backing on it, so it doesn't stick to itself. And what I'm going to do with this layer of roofing, because I basically want to airtight it. I'm not actually looking for waterproof. That'll be the next step, which is the actual steel roofing, because this is just my air tightness. But I'm going to use this stuff anyways. It should. It's going to add another layer of protection, so you can see that stuff. It's got the. It's really sticky, and I don't know exactly what this stuff is. It's like probably stuff they use on the spacecraft or something. Space shuttle. I don't know, this stuff's like super sticky. So yeah, tape all the seams, and then I'm going to caulk all my holes, and then that'll pretty much make it airtight as best I can, which is my insulation layer. I don't know if that's the actual application for this stuff. Actually, I know it's not the actual application for this stuff, but it's going to work out really, really well. It's super sticky. I've already kind of done my seams. You guys can't really tell because this is a really white roof, and it's really reflective, and it's really, really bright. So well, it's not normally my style to wash something before I put it on, but in this case, I am going to wash it. This is an old barn roof. It's got all sorts of grime and disgusting on it, primarily dirt. It's been in stock a little bit too long. I've got this RV smart cleaner. It's originally designed to clean the top of your RV of mold and all sorts of stuff. So the idea is to spread it on and let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes, and then basically rinse it off. We're going to rub it in with a stiff bristle brush, and hopefully get it a little bit cleaner. And yeah, that's my plan. So first of all, I'm actually going to cut them to size. I got 19 feet or 18 feet. I should measure twice, cut once, and then install the panels. So it should be easy. I just got to get out of the sun a little bit, so that's kind of why I'm down here and not up there, because once the sun sets behind the clouds, behind the trees, it'll be a lot easier to work. 5 minutes. Okay, now we wait. Do your magic. All right, the pressure's on. The forecast is calling for rain tomorrow. And liquid rubber says it needs 24 hours of cure time before it rains in order for the liquid rubber to cure. So I'm gonna hurry up and hopefully get a coat on this thing this evening before it settles in, because obviously I don't want a heavy dew as well. So I'm gonna hurry up and do it. So I got this stuff, which is a 4-inch seam tape. Now normally what you would do is if you had a seam, you would put the tape on. What I'm going to do with the actually tape is I'm not actually going to screw down where the panels connect. I'm going to lap them over, and then I'm going to put the seam tape, and then I'm actually going to put the screws on top of that. And then afterwards, so there'll be a rubber gasket with the seam tape, and then I'm going to put a liquid rubber on top of that. So that should give me a really good connection because I don't want the seam tape to go over top of the screws and kind of give me like a little hat. I don't know if that's the right way to do it. That's the way I'm going to do it. Normally, like, the seam tape would just cover the seams, and then Bob's your uncle. But I want extra protection, and then once the liquid rubber membrane goes over top of that, it should just consolidate everything in and around the rubber gasket, and everything will be hunky-dory. That's my plan. I'm going to stick to it. So the rush is on, although it is cooled off, which is a bonus because it's been super hot today. And yeah, praying for clouds, man. Whew. Although the recommendation from the manufacturer is to not do this in the full sun. So you know what? Everything's gonna work out. As you can see, I got my sheets. This shouldn't take very long to install this roof. Yeah, let's just get her done. Well, I think we got her watertight for now. I've got all the seam tape on. All the holes are caulked up. All the holes that need screws have screws in them. The roof is on. I think it's going to keep the water out. I haven't put the liquid rubber on top of it yet. I need like a 24-hour window, and they're calling for rain early morning, so that doesn't give me enough time to put it on. So I'm gonna have to wait for a nice sunny day to get all my coats on. But I'm pleased with that product so far. The seam tape is awesome. Like, you can kind of pretty much make it in any shape you want. Just kind of goes around the angles and the nooks and crannies, and once you get it on, you cannot get it off. It's I don't know, some sort of really sticky stuff. I'm pretty impressed with that. And the caulking, which is the sealant slash I think it's just caulking, and yeah, it's actually goes on nice, and you can tool it. So I've been able to kind of caulk the holes and kind of shape it to the existing shape of the steel roof. So that worked really well. I'm very pleased with the system so far. Oh, it's been a long day though. Oh, I'm gonna wait for another sunny day. One more sunny day and the roof is all buttoned up. I'm really pleased with the way it went down though. Keeping a lot of sheets out of the landfill, I'll tell you that much. I've got my temporary valley flashing here, which is a piece of vapor barrier just stuffed up underneath because I haven't got this this done yet. It's too dark to focus. It is too dark. Anyways, yeah, so like it's just tucked up underneath so the water will go down and then over top and then onto the existing roof. But yeah, so that's just a temporary until we get our thing completely watertight. But yeah, really pleased with the system so far. As you can see, we got her all sheeted. Oh, look at that. Got the majestic pond. Everything's calm, quiet. It's getting dark. I'm going to sleep. All right, it looks like we weathered the storm with simply our banding material and are caulking, which is a good sign. Now what I want to do is actually put a rubber membrane on this thing in order to protect it and coat it, and also match my existing red roof. So what I'm going to use is a colored sealant, which is a liquid rubber product. First I got to clean off all my leaves because they kind of ended up everywhere. So I'm going to clean that off, give it a nice little, another little broom. Ideally, when you clean it with that solution, you're supposed to really rinse it. And fortunately, it rained a heck of a lot, so it's really rinsed now. All I have to do is take off the solids, and I'll be able to color sealant, which will kind of consolidate the entire roof. It'll fill all the nooks and crannies if there's any like micro cracks in the steel itself. So usually when the screw goes down into the material along the edge, you may like the rubber gasket might be okay, but what happens is the metal kind of flexes over time, and there's like a hairline crack that forms just below the screw, and that's what the liquid rubber really penetrates inside that and seals it up perfectly. So that's what I'm gonna do. Quartz. So that's what I was talking about. Generally speaking, right beside the screw there'll be like a micro fracture right here, and that's a lot of the times when old steel roofs leak, is there's actually like a break in the steel just below that washer, right in the rib, and then water comes down here and goes inside that little crack. So this liquid rubber is actually going to come up inside and all the way around that guy and seal it in place. And then over here you can see where I've got the banding seal tape, and then you got the washer with the rubber, and that's going to consolidate all that together, making it one monolithic slab of waterproofiness. Liquid rubber is easy to apply. It goes on pretty much like water-based paint. You put 4 heavy coats on pretty much anything, and it'll make it extremely waterproof. And like I said before, it's UV stabilized, which allows it to go on in you know, sun intense areas, and it won't fade, it won't crack, it won't peel, and most of all, it'll make whatever you put it on completely waterproof. All right, well, we got one coat on, and it looks like it covered really well. I've got my fan up here that's just giving me a little bit extra drying. I put it on a little thick right here. It's still a little tacky, but that's okay for the second coat. And yeah, so like you can see how well that covers. If anybody's ever painted with red paint before, realizes that red paint doesn't cover really well, but that stuff did really excellently. So the idea behind this stuff is to give it like 3 or 4 coats, because the coverage is designed to make a rubber membrane. So you obviously want it on really thick, and really this isn't, we're not, you know, finishing pianos here. We're trying to make this thing waterproof. So it's form over function, or function over form, as opposed to you know, we're not looking for like a piano reflective finish, but I think that's pretty darn good looking for our first coat. So yeah, we're gonna roll on our second coat and see what it looks like after our second coat. You can see a little transparent here. This was a little thin, but once we get our second coat on there, we're gonna have a pretty good membrane. So I'm using this color sealant to waterproof my low sloped steel roof. Now you're thinking, what can I use it around the house to waterproof? Well, it pretty much can waterproof anything you can think of. So whether or not like a leaky siding, say you have a leaky RV or camper or something like that, something that water's getting in, or if you have like a trailer that you want to waterproof, that works well for that. Your foundation wall, if it's leaking, you can coat it on that. And the best thing about liquid rubber is that it's water-based. It doesn't stink. Which is really great for, like, you know, those enclosed spaces. It's like got essentially 0 VOC. It's very forgiving that way. So the people that haven't really done a lot of DIY stuff, you're not getting yourself into some like oil base or some nasty product. This stuff is very friendly to use. It goes on really well. It's easy to tool. It doesn't dry like super quick. Like latex paint, so it has a little bit of staying time, so you can actually tool it to get it to where you need it to go, and it stays. So it's not like a really watery product. It's got more like a gelatinous consistency, which allows you to place it where you want it and have it stay there. So in order to waterproof something, like I said before, you probably want to put about 4 heavy coats on it to make it perfectly waterproof. No water cannot infiltrate it, and yeah, so liquid rubber, I highly recommend it. All right, well, that's the pretty much the second coat. As you can see, she's getting really nice. Look at that. coverage. Just gonna let it dry overnight. But third and fourth coat tomorrow. I don't think I can put more than 2 coats on in a day. It has dropped off significantly in temperature, so it takes a little longer to dry. But if this was warmer, it would have dried a lot quicker. But we got it on pretty thick, so it's looking good. Well, we're gonna go for the final inspection now on the roof, and I've got 4 heavy coats of liquid rubber on this bad boy, and well, she's dry. She's dry and she's cured because it's been over 24 hours. I now have a perfectly seamless metal roof. So I got 4 coats. I've got a thickness of like 1.5 to 2 millimeters of coverage, and all my seams are seam taped. So basically I have a giant monolithic kind of slab of waterproofing roof. This is really cool. And it was all used with old barn steel roof. So yeah, just the cost of the rubber membrane itself, which was liquid rubber, and I got myself, in my opinion, is almost a better roof than, you know, just a standard steel roof because of the pitch. The pitch is not exactly very pitchy, so this is a great solution for a not pitchy roof. So almost like a really low pitched roof, like, yeah. Anyways, yeah. So that's the final coating. You can see it's got a really thick rubber membrane. It's not even tacky anymore. I'm really pleased with the way that kind of set up. It's got a little bit of stickiness left in it. That's gonna obviously go away when it cures even more. We've got her on before the rainy season. So like, even you can see around that screw, you can see it's all the way up and around the rubber gasket, and then you got that seal in there. And we've got here where the seam tape was, so you can see how it's got a little bit of a texture. And we've got our screws on top of that, so on top of the seam tape. So this is where I was particularly concerned about leakage, was the low pitch combined with the seam. So there could be water like infiltrating up over top of the seam when the water kind of freezes in the wintertime. Snow and water freezes, so that basically marries this piece to that piece and then makes it completely waterproof all the way down, and every seam is taped that way. So we've got a perfectly sealed roof, should be watertight for years to come. And then we're taking a look at the underside of this roof, which is the ceiling, which is nearly complete. I'd say about 90% complete. I'm gonna let this thing dry out for a little bit longer. It's been about 4 or 5 days since I've put the paneling on the underside. And if we take a really close look at it, we can see that it has started to dry out a little bit. The ash wasn't completely dry when we milled it up. There's a little bit of separation going on between the pieces, but there hasn't really been anything major in it, and the cupping is pretty much minimal, because that's going to dry out and then flatten out, because there's really no place for it to go, because it's sandwiched between the insulation panel that's just above it and these logs that are down below. So the plan underside here is let this stuff dry out a little bit more. You can kind of see the stuff flaking off. Probably give it a little bit of a polish on the underside, get some more of this I don't know what the heck that is. The underside of the bark a little bit cleaned off to give it a little bit more sparkle, make it a little bit brighter in here. That's the plan going forward. But the wind blowing through here really dries everything out really nicely. Back in the day, when they used to frame houses and it wasn't so much of a production show, what they would do is they would frame a house and they let it sit for like a month or two just to open, and it would allow the timbers and stuff like that, even though they were kiln dried, to the air to blow through it and dry it out, and allows all of the material to kind of twist and turn the way it naturally occurring, and then they could go in there and they could plane it and make it true. I used to know a guy, and he would go in and straighten, they call it straighten houses, and what he would do is go around with a really long straight edge and true up the house. So he would let them on 2x4s, and if there was a hump in the wall, he would either plane it out or he would add shims, depending on what he needed to do, or add blocking and stuff like that to give it like a true wall. So when the drywall went up, we had a really nice structure that way. So that's pretty much what this is going to do. It's going to sit here for a little bit, let the air do its thing, let nature take its course, and Yeah. If you guys are interested in the liquid rubber product, the link will be down in the description below for this colored sealant. I highly recommend it. I've used it on lots of projects in the past, and it hasn't failed me yet. And I'm pretty confident it's not going to fail in the future. So you know what? If you want to take a look at liquid rubber, the link will be down below in the description. And yeah, help support companies that support this channel and stand behind their product. And I highly recommend liquid rubber. There, oh, look at. You can't see.
No, I can't.
You can't see yourself.
Which is probably fine.
That's probably good, right?
Because I don't really like looking at myself anyway.
Right.
How's my hair look?
Your hair looks beautiful.
Okay,
It's good.
thanks.
Good. Good. We're just feeding the fish. We're gonna do a fireside chat, and I was like, you know what? You don't need a fire down here. You got this
No,
like
it's
it's bucolic, right?
That's right.
The
Yes,
Dawn word that is etched in my brain, the bucolic of the down by the pond. So I have to feed the fish. My brother tells me I have to feed the fish all the time. We're supposed to fatten them up. And I don't. I try to feed them every day. I don't. All right, here. Okay, so there we go. We have the fish have officially been fed, so I've done my duty. But yeah, so this is the official, I guess, the beginning of the end, right?
Or the start of a new beginning.
Right. We're gonna do an adventure like PEI version.
Yes.
So if you guys don't know yet, Dawn is moving to PEI. How many days now?
Roughly a week. There's no specific day yet.
You've planned it well, so there's no real urgency to get there.
No. I mean, as soon as I get there, I have a home.
Right. So you bought a house.
I bought a house.
That's
yes.
right. So yeah, so he's packing up. So by the time you guys see this, he's actually
probably in PEI.
Yeah, you'll be in PEI. Right, Frankie? Frankie, you gonna miss Dawn? Yes.
I will miss Frankie. Oh, look, my beverage.
Frankie, move over. Yeah. There we go.
Publicity hog.
That's right. She's a ham. She's a big.
Yeah.
She looks like she's getting bigger. So
Yeah.
camera adds 10 pounds or something, Frankie. Very vain, Frankie. So this is somewhat of an exit interview, right? Because we started working together like 12 years. Did you ever figure it out?
I think the first job that you did for me was in 2012.
2012, so like that, yeah, 12 years.
But I didn't really work for you until
Yes.
2014 or 2015 when I first helped you with that bathroom.
Okay. Was the triplex around yet?
No,
That was
that
prior.
was 2016.
Okay. See, Don's good at keeping dates. Everything's a blur to me.
Yeah, so I think it was probably the summer of spring of 2015 because I was laid off
Okay.
from the factory, and you asked me because I think you did my bathroom in 2015, and again I was laid off at that point too.
Yeah.
So then I kind of helped you with, although you did most of the bathroom. I was kind of just there for.
Oh yeah.
most
So
of
I guess that's you're talking about your bathroom.
that's right.
Yeah. So yeah, because you got laid off and you said I'm around to help, and I said I don't really work with anybody because I don't get along with anybody. Well, I don't know. But Don was around, so he said, you know what, I'll give you a hand. I said okay, and basically what happened was Don was useful, which is unusual quality in a person that helps in construction. So like you had, you know, when I needed something, you had it, you could see past your nose, which a lot of people can't see past their nose. They can't see what's the next step. So you're always kind of, all right, here's, you know, you need a wrench for this, you need we need PEX pliers or whatever. So that's kind of when I thought, well, Don knows his stuff, even though you don't have a background in construction at all.
No. But that was mostly because of helping my dad on the farm. Like you had to be
Like getting yelled at.
getting yelled at, of course, yeah, and holding the light and and having him say, "Can you see what I'm doing?" And I'd say no, and he'd say, "Well, you're not holding the light right now." so yes, I got used to being prepared, not wanting to get yelled at. So.
Okay. No, not get, I don't think I've never yelled.
Not from you.
I don't think
course.
I've ever yelled at you, Don. Have I ever yelled? No.
I think there's probably a few times that you were maybe didn't yell at me, but you were. I knew that you were unhappy. But I mean, that's just a normal relationship thing.
I think everything's been pretty
smooth.
Pretty smooth, yeah. The job has not started unless Don has drawn a little blood.
Yeah, that's right.
That's really Don's. His normal thing is that it has every job we've ever done. Don gets a nick somewhere and he's bleeding by the end of it.
Yeah,
but it's usually very minor. We haven't got anything too major.
Nothing serious.
Nothing serious. But
it's like a party. Like it's not a party till something's broken.
That's right. So yeah.
We knew it. The job was going along well when I started to bleed. So.
Yeah. What was it? We did a job and was it the tile got you in the head or was that me?
I think that was you.
I like it was bleeding out of my face. I can't remember who was bleeding that day. Yeah, a chunk of tile.
We were breaking tile.
Yeah, we did a job. We'll never do it again. Oh, we did a favor for a company that asked us to tear out, was it, how many square feet of floor? It was like 1,500 square feet of ceramic tile, which was absolutely ridiculous. They wanted to change it for whatever reason. It was well laid, and Don and I went in there in like 2 days. Right?
No, we did it in 1 day.
Was it 1 day?
We did it in 1 day.
Gee, that's like I blocked that stuff from my mind.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it was 1 day.
Yeah, it was dark when we left.
Yeah, now it was like a 12 or 14-hour day, but we did it 1 day.
We chipped out with roofing hammers ceramic tile. It was insane. It was a ridiculous job. The homeowner gave us a tip. I think they actually felt bad for us. They gave us like cash. They're like, here's a tip. You know, sorry about your life because that job sucked.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was dirty, dusty. It was.
Well, that was like
It was hard.
Yeah, that job sucked. Like that was like the true test of. That wasn't that long ago either.
No, that was just right before COVID.
Yeah.
So that was probably 2019.
2019.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the last job I think we did as like contracting. I think because I think it was kind of like a little bit out of it. So the plan originally was to like 2020. I was supposed to take a year off. I was done with contracting, done with dealing with homeowners. You guys are okay, but homeowners can really take it out of you. And I was kind of done. I wanted to take 2020 off, and then everybody knows what happened in 2020. So that's why the channel started. My brother came up to me. He says, "Hey, you want to do a channel?" And I said, "Sure." And he says, "Okay, go buy a camera. So go drop a lot of money, and basically the rest is history." So the channel, Modern Self-Reliance was born. So Don was essentially out of a job. Not you were kind of semi-retired.
Yeah,
then.
I wasn't really looking very hard, anyways.
Yeah,
and of course it was during COVID.
Yeah, so like you had that kind of COVID anyway was happening, and so we're starting up the channel, and I said, "Hey, Don," because we were working together anyways. I would get a job, and Don would come, and we'd work for 2 weeks, 3 weeks doing a bathroom or kitchen renovation or whatever, and COVID hit, everything kind of shut down. Started this thing, and I said, "Hey, Don, you want to come and basically work at the off-grid and do projects and up for an adventure," right?
Yeah, that's right.
So Don came. That's the story of why Don is around. And a lot of people get confused with this Don and the other Don that's not here. My dad's name's Don. This is not my dad. This is my friend Don. But they look very similar. So I would clarify that. I have to clarify that too many times.
Yeah, every time it seems.
It's strange. Somebody in the comment would be like, "Oh, your dad." That's Don, but my dad is also named Don. That's why it's so confusing. But anyways.
So the first project was the cabin, right?
The first, we did that on.
Or was it the root cellar?
No, we did the cabin on.
That was on Chris's
channel. So the Wooded Beardsman, Chris was like, "You know, I want to build a cabin." I said, sure, I'm game. And that's actually when we were still working. Like I was still
think so, yeah.
general contracting at the time. That's why it kind of took so long to build that thing, because you had to find you know, motivation to kind of do something above and beyond what you were doing day to day, right? And it was working with my brother, which we just leave it at that. It's hard working with family. So like, you know. So anyways, that was on Chris's channel, the original cabin build. I think the first one that we built together was the Hobbit house, or the root cellar.
The root cellar, and then
You kind of came in. I think you came in near the end, dry stack and stone. Right? Like you came. I was already.
I remember rolling.
We
rolled
put
the
it together.
culvert.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, because we were using that. Was it the Podge or what is it called? The Ladyfoot
Or
lining bar.
aligning bars, yeah.
Yeah, those are still. Do you need those back before you go to PEI?
No.
Okay.
So parting gift.
Yeah, he's like, you can keep these. You use these more than I do, and now he's leaving. So, yeah. So that was the first job. I guess the first project that we did.
Or did you do the outhouse first?
I did the outhouse by myself.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that was like getting out of residential bathrooms into, you know, forest bathrooms. So that was the original first build was the outhouse. Then it was the Hobbit house, and then
Pizza oven? Or
was
no,
it the-
no, you did the smoker.
it was the pizza oven or the smoker. Which one did we do first?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's either pizza oven or the smoker. So anyways, those are cool actually. I still like them. I still use them. I mean, Chris used them the other day. But the pizza oven were still working good. There was a lot of people that were like, the rocks are going to explode. We've never had a rock explode, which is...
Yeah.
Are you surprised that the rocks haven't exploded?
I never even thought of that actually. So
Usually-
yeah, no, I guess I'm not surprised.
Well,
that they
usually
didn't.
rocks explode if you get them from the side of a lake, because they've got water inside the rock and they heat up and... yeah. So, yeah. And then we did... we did the off-grid? We did the off-grid...
I think it was a sauna then.
Was it the sauna or was it I think it was the off-grid shop. Like
Could be, yeah, because they usually came. Well, we never really took much of a break between the projects.
No, they just kept coming.
So
We're still 4 years later. We're still building.
yeah,
There's a little lull in stuff where we go off track and do some weird stuff every once in a while, but go on adventures. So here, as opposed to going through every single project, what's your favorite one?
oh, I think probably the log cabin. I think it turned out really well.
Okay.
Yeah, I would think so.
The log cabin. You like the button pass method,
Yeah.
the non-notching. He likes driving pegs. You like that you didn't have to dig. There was no
I
digging.
think, yeah, I think
there was
that
no
would be
digging
one of
on
the
that.
reason, yeah.
What project sucked the most?
Oh, probably the pit, the foxhole, or
The spider hole.
the spider hole. Yeah.
I like that one.
Well, I didn't. I mean,
Like when we expanded it, that sucked.
yeah.
Yeah, like the spider hole itself, digging one big hole was okay. It was when we made it the giant pit when we were down there for days with
Yeah,
buckets.
thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, do you remember that? I got I think I had the repetitive, like my arm actually, like I broke my arm like I didn't break it, but it hurt for a year. And it was that.
You damaged it.
Yeah, I damaged something in there, but it was the digging and then the sphere, because I did the sphere just after that. It was the bending of the wood around the sphere that broke something here. I don't want to talk about it.
But I mean, really, none of they've all been fun. I mean, the one thing about working with Kevin, it's always been entertaining and fun. So I can't really say that I disliked anything, but
There's some that sucked.
I mean, it was repetitive and
Do you remember this project?
the pond. Oh yeah,
the
it wasn't so bad because it was mechanical, right? Well, I mean, putting in the. Oh,
Yeah.
you mean putting in the?
the January
Yeah,
mud
that was
and-
cold, but it still wasn't that bad.
Yeah. Well, we were collecting rocks for like 40 hours. We picked up rocks.
Yeah.
We picked up rocks out of like a historical rock pile over there for 40 hours. We did that for like 5 days. That was crazy.
It was wet and cold, and
But what else are you gonna do? Middle of winter.
that's
It was
right.
January. It was raining in January and cold and wet.
Yeah, but by and large, I think everything's been fun, and I'm gonna miss it. It's
You can always come by and pick your favorite and stay in it. Come for 2 weeks in the summertime.
Yeah.
Or what's bad weather in PEI time? Do you know yet?
I don't know. I've never lived there, but
You're gonna find out.
yeah.
You're gonna find out. So, anyways, you bought yourself a house. You got a little bit of property down there.
It's a house on a 1 acre lot, so I've got some property. I mean, it's not huge like your property, but there is some bush on it too. So
Okay.
so it is. It's going to be a lot different from my little lot in the city. That's for sure.
So did you know that there's already somebody that's offered in the comments to come help you do a project?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they said they've said, you know what, I do contracting in PEI. Can't remember the guy's name, but I'm sure he'll be like, yeah. But anyways, yeah, he's already offered to come for like a weekend project if you need a project. And,
Oh, yeah?
and I responded with, I think he needs a shop because the house that he purchased doesn't have a garage or like a shed or anything.
No, not at the moment.
So that's priority probably number 2. Number 1 is something else.
Well, I've got a couple of priorities before that,
But yeah, I'll put you in touch with that guy. You can send me an email through the channel manager, and I can put you in touch with Don, because he's in PEI. I can't imagine PEI is that big. Is it big?
Actually, I just read a story that this ultra marathoner was running from tip to tip, and it was 276 kilometers. I think that's right. It's probably not
So like
to the kilometer, but
so
don't
3
go-
hours one side to the other.
Yeah, for driving. This guy was going to run it,
Okay.
and he was going to try and do it in under 46 hours or something like that. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, he's an ultra marathoner, so.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So, anyways, no, it's not really large.
Yeah. So like if somebody says I'm in PEI, like somebody says like I'm in Ontario, they could be like literally 24 hours away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like it's crazy big.
Yeah, if you were in Kenora or something.
Yeah, it's Thunder Bay or something like it's crazy. Anyways, but yeah, I'll put you in touch if he reaches out and he wants Don's. You'll just plug at it yourself for the whole summer. You're on retire time now.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not going to be a huge issue. But I mean, it is one of the priorities.
It's on the list. So maybe I'll make it down. You collect all your lumber.
Yeah.
Build it out of pallet wood or something. I'll just strap wood to the top of the truck and go.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Or can you haul the sawmill?
Oh, that'd be something. You know what? Norwood should just send Don a sawmill.
Yeah.
Hint, hint. Norwood.
Yeah.
He's got a 1 acre property. He's got lots of spruce and pine. Perhaps there's a sawmill that you want to send out to PEI for Don. He's got a place to put it now.
Yeah, that's right.
Hint, hint.
Yeah.
Okay. What else were we gonna say? Oh, guess what? This is a side note. So, our buddy Dwayne. So Dwayne is he's our heavy mechanic guy that from time to time lends me equipment, skid steers. He's an excavator operator, so he's really good at that sort of thing. So he told me the other day that he's officially selling his skid steer. So the skid steer I used when Don was kind of in the process of closing on his house, he was busy, and I was like, I'm not digging holes. So I borrowed Dwayne's skid steer and I poked the holes for
with the auger.
Yeah, with the auger on the skid steer. And anyways, he's decided to sell his skid steer, and I'm like, Don's gone. The skid steer's gone. What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
So I looked up. Actually, I was gonna show it to you. I put an order in on an earth auger from Makita. It's a battery-powered 40-volt earth auger, and it's
Oh wow.
it's got it's a handle like this, and then there's like this U-shaped thing that goes around your leg. So, and it's got like it's got an 8-inch auger bit on it, and I bought the extension, so it's like 4 feet. You can go 4 feet, 8 inches. I don't know.
I don't know. I see. I hope I don't see a broken leg in your future.
Oh, well, it's got like I don't know, the thing that makes it stop when it's getting out of control, like the like the hammer drill. I hope. Anyways, I bought that thing is on order, so I'm gonna name it the Dawn because
Yeah.
but I'm curious to see.
I thought maybe you were going to purchase Dwayne's skid loader.
Skids. No, I don't. It's too big, and I fought with that thing going up like damp ground up there. Like it rained a little bit and it was wet, and I couldn't get up that tiny. I'm like, no, I need a tracked. Like if Kubota's got a tracked skid steer they want to send me, absolutely, I will take one of those. I'll put studs in it because those things, the tracked ones even get stuck. I need. Yeah, you need chains, you need studs or something, because yeah, it's hilly. It looks flat here. It's not flat. You're always going uphill,
and very sharp hills too.
Yeah, they're just so anyways.
Well, I'd like to thank everybody for all their kind comments and well wishes and everything. It's very heartening to hear all the fine things people have said about me, at least what Kevin has told me anyway.
Because you don't actually read the comments.
Because I don't read the comments, but everything Kevin tells me is very positive, so thank you all. It's really heartening, as I said before, that to hear those nice words and comments, so thank you again.
All right, well, on that note, we'll wrap her up. We're gonna wish Dawn a happy trails. I guess that's
thank you.
That's got to be a saying. Happy trails, and we'll make it a plan to come visit Dawn and his new digs. Once he gets settled in, we'll take a road trip out to PEI. And people are saying you should fly out there. I'm not gonna fly. I'm gonna take a vehicle because I like to collect junk on the side of the road. I will have that thing so full packed.
Oh, you will.
Anyways, but yeah, we'll leave it at that. Thanks, Dawn, for your many years of fun, of adventure, because that's pretty much every time we've gone out, it's been an adventure. You don't know what you're getting into.
Absolutely, yeah, it has been, and it's been a pleasure to work with you.
All right.
And be your friend all this time.
Cool. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Good. That's the most talking you've ever done, Don.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. That's like if we combined every single video, every single clip that we've done and every video, we probably had about 22 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
I really like the way this has kind of turned out, and I hope you guys did too. Hope you guys enjoyed the process with me, and anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this one, and join me on the next one.